You know, not many people can say they've worked at the same place for 40 years, but that's exactly the case for double domer and longtime sports information director at Clemson University, Tim Bourret. Referred to by many as a walking encyclopedia, he's in fact better than that. Tim is finishing his 40th season with the Clemson Sports Communications Department. He's had to wear many hats in his line of work, and this summer he'll get a new one, retiree. Tim, my friend, welcome to Notre Dame Day.
Jack, it's great to see you. It's great to be a part of this. I've watched it the last 4 or 5 years myself, and it's great to be on with you.
I'm going to start with something you and I know, but very few people do. You and I have actually been broadcast partners back when the Duke series started going again between Notre Dame and Duke, and I would be doing the games for WNDU Radio. You would drive up from Clemson to be my color analyst.
That was so much fun. It was back in the days, of course, when Coach Phelps was the head coach, and we also hold the distinction. I think one of those games we actually broadcast on the baseline at Duke.
Did.
We weren't up in the rafters. We got to do it on the baseline. That might be the only time that's happened in Cameron Indoor Stadium.
It was a good place for the end of the game, though. David Rivers got a shot blocked right in the final possession, and that sealed the victory for Duke. But I have to move on. Your father was also a Notre Dame alum, and you became a big fan of the Fighting Irish early in your life. I heard you even got a sneak peek at Ara Parseghian's office when you were just 10 years old. Tell us about that.
Boy, you did your research. Yeah, when in 1966 we came out to South Bend on a vacation, and we were just kind of touring around campus. And the College All-Star game was actually going on, so Ara was not in town, but we went into the Rockton Memorial. That's where the football offices were in those days. And we walked in, and Ara's secretary said, well, he's not here, but I could bring you in his office. And they let me sit in his chair. And that was it. I was sold. I was going to Notre Dame. I made that decision when I was 10 years old. And
you had a great impact on the Notre Dame sports scene, an impact that remains to this day. During your time at Notre Dame, you also served for 3 years as the commissioner of Bookstore Basketball, the world's largest outdoor basketball tournament that was once broadcast on NBC. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was in the mid-'70s, and I actually took over the tournament simply because Vince McConey, who had been running it, lived in the same section as me in Morrissey Hall, and I started to help him out with the tournament. And then when Vince was graduating, he said, hey, you want to take this on? And so I did. And because I worked in sports information, had a few more connections as far as getting attention for the tournament. One thing led to another with the help of Roger Valdesari. And my last year there, of course, it was featured in Sports Illustrated.
Now, I understand your first trip to Clemson back in 1977 was thanks to the Fighting Irish, correct?
Yeah, it was. It's just amazing when you think how that worked out. In 1977, the Monday before the Clemson game, Bob Best, who was Roger Valdesari's assistant, came in the office. He said, I'm behind on getting the basketball guide done. You're going to go to Clemson. And I was a grad assistant, but didn't normally travel with the team. So I was able to go with the team to Clemson, and it's just amazing the way it all worked out. That 9 months later, there was an opening at Clemson. I applied for it and got it.
You've witnessed some pretty incredible sporting moments in your career. Is it fair to ask you which one sticks out, or should we do that plural? Which ones stick out?
Well, back at Clemson and Notre Dame, obviously at Clemson, the most recent was winning the national championship when Hunter Renfrow scored a touchdown with 1 second left to beat Alabama. But then I have to go back to the end of the 88 game winning streak on January 19th, 1974. That was a day that I'll never forget. I was a freshman. I was up in the last row of the Section 108 in the Convocation Center, and just remember Dwight Clay's shot and the flurry of shots by UCLA at the end of that game. And then I obviously got to do a book with Digger Phelps later on about his career, and really had some great time reliving those moments with Coach Phelps.
You, of course, were inducted into the Sports Information Directors Hall of Fame last year. What did that mean to you?
Well, it meant a lot, and it goes back to my roots in sports information. We're with Roger Valdesari, who's been a terrific mentor for me. I was able to come up to Notre Dame recently when he received the Jess Harper Award, but I had so many great memories of working with Roger and everybody at Notre Dame, and then to go to Clemson and work for a great man named Bob Bradley, who's kind of the Roger Valdesari of Clemson before Mr. Bradley passed away, and I worked for him for many years and just learned the nuts and bolts of sports information.
Tim, we just showed a quick video shot of a certain golf cart. I watched this live being delivered to you by a guy we all know, Dabo Swinney, as a gift to you on your retirement. And I do think that it just shows how much they respect you down at Clemson, that it's got Clemson logos on it, but they actually put the ND logo on the front as well. I mean, I know that was a special moment for you. You're a humble guy, but I mean, what did that mean to you that folks as high up the ladder of life, and good coaches consider them just like the rest of us, but for a guy like Coach Swinney to take part in that ceremony and help provide you with a terrific gift for a guy who I know likes to hit the golf ball every now and then.
Yeah, I live on a golf course, and I love the sport. And yeah, that was a great surprise. Dabo decided he wanted to have an appreciation day for me after the week spring practice was ending. So he invited the media, some of my former student assistants, and the football staff, and then we went outside. And then Dabo was nowhere to be seen. A couple of people got up and said some things, and then all of a sudden, here comes Dabo from around the side of the building driving this golf cart, and everybody thought, well, he was just using this golf cart to come in and say something. But then when everybody saw the Notre Dame logo on the front of it, they said, this is a golf cart for Tim Bourret. So I've had a terrific relationship with all the coaches at Clemson, but especially Dabo. He's just been such a good friend, and to do that and to add the Notre Dame logo to it was really something. I only regret is that I don't have video of him going into the store to this guy in Clemson and asking for a golf cart with a Notre Dame logo on it. I wish I had that on video.
This doesn't surprise me. I know you're retiring from your full-time job at Clemson, but you are not going to stop working, and the sports world will be better for it. What are in your immediate plans after you stop full-time employment at Clemson?
Well, I'm still going to be involved with the Clemson Athletic Department, doing some writing for the internet site, and also for a magazine on Clemson sports. You're still going to get to see me during basketball. I'm still going to do color on the radio for Clemson basketball. But then I also have a great opportunity in a part-time position working for NBC on their PGA Tour coverage. I'm going to be one of the stats and research people for NBC. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, Tim, I'm glad you're still doing the radio, because I need, at the very least, my yearly Tim Bone Bourret fix. But, I mean, I don't think that I've ever met anybody who is more respected in the world of sports than you are. It's an honor for me to call you a friend. I hope we get to do some kind of sporting event, even if it's a backyard pickup game again. But we all here wish you the best of luck. Thank you for joining us today, and we wish you the best in quote-unquote retirement. I guess we should talk about all your future endeavors.
Thanks, Jack. It's great to be with you, and I look forward to seeing you, especially when the Clemson Tigers go to South Bend next year.
All right, Tim, thank you very much.